Hello friends, welcome you all once again in lecture series Manufacturing Technology. I am Amit Tiwari, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Suresh Gyanwar University, Jaipur. Today is the 33rd lecture of lecture series, and the topic of the lecture is Conceptual Questions for Powder Metrology Part 1. So let's start. The objective of today's lecture is to introduce the field of powder metrology and engineering applications from historical background to contemporary advanced applications. Second is to introduce and explain basic methodologies and techniques for metal powder productions. And third one is to describe the important powder characteristics and related characterizations techniques of powder metrology. Outcomes, if we understand that is at the end of the lecture, the student will be understand about the differentiate manufacturing methods for the production of metal powders, discuss particle morphology like size, shape, characterizations, and understand the requirement of lubricants and the blenders. So these are some objectives that the student will be able to understand at the end of the lectures. So as the today topic, that is the conceptual questions of powder metrology, that is a part 1. We are discussing about some conceptual question related the powder metrology asking in the examinations, that is GATE examination or any competitive examination. If you are give any working, or if you are able to try for the industry, automobile industry, or we can say that manufacturing industry, where to make the products by the help of the powder metrology. So this type of questions will be asked by the interviewer and examiner. For that, I am just giving this today lecture about what are some questions arrived, what type of questions are arrived, and what are the answer of that particular question. For that, you have to fight the examination written and the interview for that. So the question today that we can discussing about the question number first. The question number first is compare the features of powder metrology with casting, forging, that is a hot forging, extrusion, that is a hot extrusion, and machining process. So we're discussing about some basic features. What are they are discussing about the comparison related to the forging, casting, extrusion, and machining process. So these all are the different to each other. So what is the difference between to each other? We have to discussing now in the advantages in the form of the some limitations. So first of all, we have to first point we consider about the casting. So what are advantages over the powder metrology? What are the advantages of the powder metrology casting? That is wide range of part, shape, and size produced, and generally low mold and setup cost. So as you know that in the first unit we also discussed casting, a different type of casting. So as you are aware that in casting there are the larger part and the, we can say that the any shape of what you want to make the give the shape of the particular product. So you will be provided by the help of the casting and central castings and casting. Stir casting, friction casting. So the other different types of castings are available for providing the shape and size of the product. So these are the some advantages over the power metrology. And second one is that is a generally we can say general low mold and setup cost. Low mold and setup cost, generally we can say that most of the castings are having the low cost and low mold be required, because you know that there is no any difficulty we face for the casting, but we know that some awareness also required, because if you do not I do not understand about the what are the temperature of base material, what are temperature of your furnace. If suppose you have to select for the aluminium, then you know first of all that what is the melting point of the aluminium before used. Because if you use the furnace, that is a electric furnace or any star casting you have to use. So what furnace temperature limit? The furnace last temperature limit you first understand, and then compared to that the best material which you want to melt and become the composite metal for that. So for example, this time giving the example, that is if you understand the basic features, first of all the furnace, the temperature of the furnace and the material used for the furnace. And for example, if your temperature of furnace is 1000 degrees Celsius, okay, is the upper limit is 1000 degrees Celsius. So you know that the if you use the aluminium, that aluminium having the melting point is approximation 700 to 800 degree aluminum completely convert into the liquid form. Okay, so it is suitable for the aluminum, but if you want to make your base material want to melt, that is steel, then it is not be melted, because you know that the steel having a approximation temperature approx, so that is 1700 or 600 degrees Celsius approximation having the melting point of the steel. So there are some difference between them. So first of all, that you have to clarify what type of casting you want to do. So we are just aware that the casting is very a good part which for making the shape and size for simple shape in the complex. It has come over to the power metallurgy. And the second one is the limitations as compared with the powder metallurgy. So what are the some limitations as compared to the powder metal? That is a limitation, that means we can say that powder metallurgy having some limitation, that is some waste of metal is processing. Obviously, that is we can say that some of the waste material is processing having a wastage for the, you can say, the casting, because if your metal is not properly giving the shape inside, and your metal will be waste. So this type of problems we are facing, that is for the amount of wasting and the wasting of the time also taken. So second one is some finishing required after the casting. We do not say that after the casting the metal will be perfectly fine and good finish after finishing. So we do require for the good machining, for after casting, for a better quality of improving the surface quality, or to remove the unwanted spots are generated if in the product. So sometimes the finishing we require. Yes, it is that. These are the limitations of casting over the powder metallurgy. And the next third one, it is may not be feasible for high temperature alloy. So may not be feasible for the high temperature alloy. It is yes, this may not be feasible. Sometimes it requires a high temperature for the alloy. It is not feasible for that. So these are some disadvantages of the castings over the powder metallurgy. Next, second one is that is the forging. Forging, that means hot forging. That is advantages over the powder material are high production rate of wide range of part size and shape. So high production rate, obviously there is a requirement of will be required in the high production rate, and you will be prepared at the forging rate over the metallurgy, powder metallurgy. So it will be required for that. And second is the high mechanical property through of the grain flow. So they are the requirement of the high capability. So you will be also flow that yes, it is also suitable for that. Okay. And there's a limitation, that is some finishable required. Okay, then again some finishing required. That is if you are doing the forging, that also required for finishing for making the good self surface. Second is some waste of material is processing. Third one is relative poor surface finishing and dimensional control. So poor the surface finishing and dimensioning control is the some limitations are in the forging that we cover the overview by the powder metallurgy. So these are the some limitations of forging as compared to with the powder metallurgy. Third one is extrusion. It is a hot extrusion. That is advantages of for power metallurgies are high production rate as long part. If you want to make a longer the part, then the high production it is possible only for the power. We can say the extrusion processes. Second one is a complex cross section may be produced. Yes, it is maybe that if you want to make a product like a complex shape and complex cross section having, which is not easily designed by any other type of metal, so it will be possible for the hot extrusion processes. And only a complex way of using the limitations as compared with the powder metallurgy of extrusion then are as follows. That is the first is only a constant cross sectional shape can be produced. Only a constant cross sectional shape can be produced. Second is the poor dimensional control. Poor dimensional control is also for that. So these are the some we can say that some limitations as compared with the powder metallurgy. Next one, that is the machining. So wide range of part shape and size, short lead time, and the machining we can set the advantages of powder metallurgy. It's a wide range of part shape and size we have to make. Short lead time required. Flexibility we providing more. Good dimensional control and the surface finishing having provided in the machining, and simple tooling. So we required for that. These all are some advantages of the powder metrology if we understand all this feature. So you will be understand about what type of machining process you have to use for that particular operation, from which operation your product will be made. So these are the some calculation you as some advantages you have to find out, and some limitations as compared with the powder metrology for the machining is the first is the waste of material in the form of chip. Yes, definitely the waste of material in the form of chip, and second is relatively low productivity. So during the machining, we know that the material will be removed in the form of chip. These are the some wastage of material. So these are the some disadvantages and the limitations of machining as compared with the powder metrology. So these are the some examples I'm just giving you to understand the metrology concept of powder metrology. What are the advantages and what are the limitations of what compared with the powder metallurgy. So compare the features as production powder metallurgy with the casting, forging, and extrusion RS photos. I hope you understand. Second question, that is explain the briefly particle size, that is distribution and shape. So I explained what is the particle size, what is distribution, and what is the shape in the powder metrological technique. So these are the questions generally we ask in the interview question, what is the particle size and what is the distribution shape in the powder metrological technique. So we give the answer, that is the first is particle size. That means usually particle size is measured by the screening, and that is by passing the metal powder through the screen over the various mesh. So particle size will be different as compared to that we are just break down the particle size by the rolling by the ball bearing we have to use for the machining, and to think the thickness, the number of thickness we have to measure by help of that particular particle. So this type of machining we can say that the best screening analysis we have for to check the particle analysis, particularly powder finer than the 45 micron. That are the options are first is sedimentation process, microscopic analysis, light scattering. Fourth is the optical means, and the fifth is the suspension of particles, electrical sensor. So these all are the we can say analyzation screening analyzation technique we use for the check the particle size. So that's why we can say the particle size is most important, and to find out the if you are doing any, for example, making the composite material for that for a particular object. So first of all, you have to identify or to check the size of the particular powder, and what are in which micron having, and what micron you required for that obtaining the good result. So the selection criteria will be on the basis of your application and requirement of your work. So that time we have to understand that of if you do not have any idea how much you have to require and what size of the turn to find out by the help of the analysis technique. That is microscopic analysis is better than the any other type of because we have to we have to measure or check out by the help of the scanning electron microscopic object, and with the help of this we can calculate the size of the micron, size of the grain size of the in microns. So these are the some basically partitions and checking phenomena we have to calculate. Second one, that is distribution, size distribution of the particle. So the distribution of particle size affect the processing characteristic of the particles. So the distribution of the particle size affects the processing characteristics of the powder. So the processing characteristics of the powder, that is, it is given in the terms of the frequency distribution plot. Frequency distribution plot. So we can say that the distribution of particle size is just to understand what type of features you want to make in the plot, and the size will be distributed and as the requirement of manufacturing of a particular product. Because the more the thinner size, more the thicker size, as in the thinner size, it will your product will be a good and having the good machinability. So that time we have to understand some size functioning, or we can say some distribution functioning which is related to that. Third one, that is the shaping of the particle. What are the shape of the particle in the? So we can say that the shape of the particle immencing influences particles processing characteristics. The shape is usually undescribed in term of aspect ratio and shape index. And the aspect ratio is the ratio of the largest dimension of the smallest dimension of the particle, and this is ratio range from the one from particulars spherical into about 10 for the fact line or needable particles. That time we have to understand that the we can say the shape size of shape factor SSF is a measure of the size surface area of the volume of the particle that reference to the spherical particle of the equivalent diameter. Thus, the shape factor of for a flake is higher than a for a spherical. So the question that will arrive in some competitive or any interview, I will ask, or any if you working on the powder mathematical work, that you have to know aware that what is the particle size distribution and size distribution and the shaping of particles. So why it is important? Because the reason is that the application area. Because if you want to make a composite material, for example, just for example, if you want to make a composite material, then you have to aware what type of features we required for the particle. If you are having the more larger the particle, then there is some porosity occur will be chances, and the material will be weak and not fill up the all the gaps related to the metal. So these are the some basic fundamentals you have to understand. So with the understanding of this, we have to calculate the particle size first of all. How we can remove, how we can reduce the particle size by applying the some shrinking, shaking the powder in the jar of machining. That is a ball bearing machining having that, and you can put the powder of that particular jar, and machine will be opened for 30 to 50 minutes, and continuously ball bearings are rotate to rotate in that particular object in the jar. And what happened that in this, during this the we can say during this the powder will be break down the particles in small section, and after that 30 to 45 minutes, or it requires some time, it depending upon the what material we have selected for it. So if you selected for the aluminium or magnesium or like copper, then it is easy to be break. But if you want to make the powder for steel, then you know that a steel and iron having the a very good hardness, very high hardness. So that is difficult to understand. Basically, it is difficult to. It's not impossible. It is difficult, but it will be possible for if you operating for the machine for a long time. It is a 1 hour to 10 to 15, 10, 8 10 hours, and it is possible for that. Yes, but that is required too much of time for this process. So that's why it's very lengthy, and having the we have to normally all the general people are selected for that aluminium powder and the magnesium powder, silicon powder for that to have the making the composite material for making the powder metrology. So these are the we can say the powder metrology and distribution of the particles are having the rate. And we saw that the shape of the particle, image value, aspect ratio, and shape indexing have. So that's why the what is the ratio that we have to find out will be 10 ratio 1 ratio 2 for that particular object. And we can get the optical microscoping if you are doing, and microscopic analysis if you are doing, that is to understand first of all the what are the features you required for understand of optical microscoping zone. That is if you want to make a 25 0.25 micron, that you have first of all doing the staining operation, and for that mixing after completely you have to do know that this by touching your hand, and you can output, you can optimize that as it is very thin, and it will be now we go to the machining, then you have to select for that what machining you have to use for the particular product. Because ultimately none of the particle grain size, we know that if a particle grain size is too large, then this is a metal art to be a weaker, because it we have not greater the bonding, because it will distribute from the long the shape. So for that we have to understand that the particle size will be distributed and very long shape, long be required for that, and it has to be observed. Sometime will be seen that particle size are very small, but have not a proper distribution on the particle on the powder. So this is also the some disadvantages you will found out in the future for making the composite of powder with the help of the powder metrology. So this powder metrology, we can say that the different instrument having that for check the particle size, and how much time you have to take. First of all, you discuss with the expert, and how much time required for machining. Because you know that if machining, if you are doing machining after completing the product, and you do not have any idea how to, and you do not have to check the chemical analysis, the component, and same time it is for find out the proper distribution of the particles. If it not, then it is very totally the waste of money and waste of time, which is you require more hard work for making the powder metallurgy, for making the product for that. So these are some basically objectives and shaper size of shape of the particle, and we can say there's some distribution of the powder metallurgy in the terms of different aspect of different processes. So now I hope you enjoy this video. I'm just moving the third question. That is what is precintering. What is the precintering? That is the precintering means heating the green contact. Precintering means having the green contact to a temperature between the centering temperature. So first of all, you know that what is centering temperature, and after that you have to understand what is the impact of the green compared to the temperature which have lower density, lower temperature of standing temperature. So it is done to increasing the strength. It is done to increase the strength of a given green particles or green contact and remove the lubricant and blender added during the blenders. So that's why we consider so the metal like tungsten carbide are easily manufacturing and presented so that become too hard after the stirring. However, it may machining is not required, this operation can be avoided for them. So what is the we can say that precipitation is the type of technique which where the heating of the green compact in a temperature below the centering a temperature. So that time it is very important to understand the temperature region of the particular material and what temperature region we obtain for that operation, and how much amount of reach the temperature. So these are some benefits we have to taken out for in the case of powder metallurgy or making in the powder form, because we know that the powder will not be going the easy to understand, because it having the different aspect, different type of techniques required for that to maintain the quality service of the powder metallurgy. So there are some advantages and some disadvantages you will be faced for that. Now I'm just telling you that is options are, that is what are the objective of the sintering, that is the main objective of the sintering are as follows. The first is to achieve the good bonding of powder particles. Yes, it is most important to achieve the good bonding of the powder particles between them, because if the powder particles are very far to each other, that means it will difficult to can say that it is the strongest metal, because during the particles I think is more far to each other and very close to that, it means it is a very good strand that we have find out after calculating this. So these are some bonding we consider some requirement of good particles. Okay. Second is produce a dense and compact structure. What is the dense and the compact structure? So we can say that is the dense or compact structures are to be understand having the dense or compact structure, having that easy to understand, no heavy cost requirement, very easy to work and easy to tackle and easy to handle. So these all are some requirement of to produce by the stirring. Third one is to achieve the high strength. Obviously, it is a high strength is the most important. It is if we are working making a composite material, any material. If you are making any material and you first of all you check the strength of the material. If the strength of the material is not high, then you have first of all have to find out what is the basic strength of the material, and after what elements or what reinforcement material you have to may mix with them base material to increase in the capacity of that particular product. So that time it is very necessary to keep in mind that some strength are having possible, but the selection criteria of that particular material is based on the different aspect, that is for a quality check also, and having the different personality that's important. What type of shape and size you have to fabricate for this. So these are the some phenomena we have to calculate for the making the high strength of the material. So for the one that is to produce the part free of oxide. So to produce the part free of oxide, that is simply means to indicate how much amount of quantity of material will be used for that. The part to be provided for free of oxide, part to be provided means no any harmful gases or no any other elements to be selected for us to maintain the quality service of the product. It is to be observed that most of the industries are facing the light problem, that is provide a path free of oxidize. So what is the reason for that? We have to understand that all the parameters are selected for proper reasons and what are the characteristics we have to find out. So all of some we have to fulfill, but overall that we have to maintain not in, and to describe that object of strengthening. Those are some following reasons for that. And last one, that is not the least, but the fifth one is to obtain the desired structure and properties, improve the mechanical property. So what type of desired structure you want to fabricate and what are the mechanical property you want to enhance? So first of all, I'll calculate and we take the application for that particular area of that material you have to fabricate when working on that on the mechanical property and the increasing the desired structure. Basically, first of all, that the mechanical strength and mechanical property having the strength, the toughness, the thickness, and elasticity, having to know understand what is the reason for that. What is the meaning of that? Because if you want to make a material, you have to first of all identify the tensile strength, compressing strength, flexible strength, the hardness, weaker hardness, rock hardness, and any type of hardness capacity you have. So mechanical properties having very important to understand the parameters which we are responsible for making the good material or high material or a heavy structure are being produced. So we consider to desired to obtain desired sector. So to obtain desired sector, that means to improve the mechanical property for that. And if you have designed the sector structure, you have to maintain. If you know that your desired section structures to maintain by which we have to understand. So it is to be possible, yes, when you have to understand all the features, you have to calculate the reason for that. Now you have any idea how to can calculate it, how do you have to calculate for that particular material. You have to join the material for a very large quantity and a smaller quantity. With the help of this, we have to maintain all the structure for them. Now they obtain the desired structure and improve the mechanical properties is that. So these are the some objective of the scanning, main objective of the scanning, to find out the powder, we can say in the powder particles, compact particles, stride strength, part free of oxide, and then improve the mechanical quantity. So these are some benefits. Now fifth one is explain the briefly following compacting the shaping process used in the powder metrology. So explain briefly the following compacting and shaping processes used in the powder metrology. So the objective of the first start it is the isolated pressing. What is isolated pressing? Second one is the metal injection molding. Third one is rolling. Fourth one is extrusion, and fifth one is pureless compacting. So these are the five types of we can say the following compacting and the shaping processes used in the powder metrology. They are discussing in the one by one. So the first is that is the isolated pressing. What is isolated pressing? That is the in cold isolated pressing (CIP) that we can say. The metal powder is placed a flexible rubber mold made of a final neoprene rubber and urethane and polyvinyl chloride or other elastomer. So the we can say the application is the in a purified and hydrostatically in the chamber, usually and water, and the most common feature is 400 meganewton per mm square, and almost the pressure of up to the 1000 meganewton per mm square has been employed. So these are the some so basically see these are the some reasons to be understand to calculate the maximization and minimization of that particular criteria. So as to understand that what are the main advantages, what are the main features of that, it will be helpful to you and it will be helpful to understand that we have to understand. Now the second part that is what are some limitations if you want to ask that there are some limitations over the manufacturing of any material, and we have to an idea how to can observe and how to can calculate by this. So these are the some techniques will be adopted for maintain the good quality of the product and having the good clearance we have to providing for that. So these are the some reasons to be used for that. You have to manage for that. And now that is the limitations are the vendor the dimensional tolerance produce. higher cost and time required. And the main advantage of we can say the hot isostatic pressing is the ability to produce compact with the essentials of 100% density, good meteorological bonding, and we can say that among the particles, and a good mechanical properties. So the limitations of processes are wider the dimensional tolerance produced. Second is the higher cost and time required, a relative small production quantity and output. So these are some basic requirement of the wider dimensional tolerance which are to be used for that particular. So privately we'll be saving the relatively small production quantity for that. The second is the metal injection molding. Metal injection molding, that is MIM, that is it also known as the powder injection molding, PIM. It is also known as for that. Okay, so it is carried out as follows. First is very fine metal powder, generally that is less than the 45 μm and often more than the 10 μm, are blended with a polymer and wax that is best blender, and the mixture then undergo a process similar to the injection molding of plastic. And second one, that is to understand molding grain part are placed in a lower temperature over to burn of the plastic and to else the other blender in a partially removed by a solvent extraction, and then the green part are stirring in a furnace. So these are the some basic requirement, and after that advantages are close tolerance can be maintained. Close tolerance will be maintained. Yes, it is will be requirement for us for maintain the close tolerance. Second is a highly complex component with densities of 96% of the theoretical and above can be produced. Third one is the ductility of strength. Part is usually high with the common elongation of 25 to 30% of criteria. So these are the some reasons to be understand, and we have to calculate for that. So closed tolerance can be maintained. Closed tolerance can be maintained. Highly complex component and the design density of 96% of the theoretical and above, and the ductility of the standing of the part. So these are the some limitations now about that. So the first is due to the process to remove the blender. These are the limitation, and the cross section thickness of the part is limited, usually 6.35 mm or less than. So these are some limitations of the ratio of number have to part for thickness. Second is the part are usually limited in over size and less than about 80 gram. However, the larger the part are under the development. So we can say that the parts are usually limited in overall size and less than about the 80 gram. And however, that is the larger the part are under the development. So these are some reasons to be understand why it is very important for that, and why we can say that the parts are usually for limited in over the overall the size and less than about 80 grams, and however the larger part are under development. So basically what is the metal injection molding? It is also known as the powder injection molding, and having the great advantages with to be having the range of fine metal powder that is generally for 45 μm and obtain the often the 10 μm. So these are the some reasons why we select a powder metrology for the metal injection molding for that. Okay, now that is we have to understand that the different type of aspects are that is third one is rolling. So in order the power, we can say that in powder rolling, also called roll compactions. That is the powder is feed to the roll gap in the two high rolling mill and is compacting into the continuous strip at a part of 0.5 meter per second, and the size can be carried out at a temperature of evaluated temperature. So these are the some characteristics of continuous speed of we have to mention, that is 0.5 meter per second for the powder rolling, because we know the rolling is to be important to make found out the make the evaluating the different temperature, room temperature, or evaluated temperature related for that, for making the material strength, for making the increase in the strength of the material. By the higher the rolling and higher the strength will be achieved. So that time the hot rolling and the cold rolling as well as to the powder rolling will be also very beneficial, and it is also known as the cold compactation. So these are some benefits we will be get to find out by the if you are doing any research or doing any work related with them. So what the one that is the extrusion. That is what is the extrusion process. The extrusion, that means if, we know that the powder may be compacted by the hot extrusion. In this process, the powder is encased in a metal container and extruded. For example, superalloy powder are hot extruded for the improved property. So we had to perform the made from the extrusion may be the reheated and forget in a closed die to their final shape. So these are the so that's why we can, these are the some reasons to be understand better how we can operate this, how we can maintain the quality size of that particular product. So the extrusion, that means to be increasing the size or enlarging the size or reducing the size by as per our desired or as per our needed. So these are the some benefits we will be find out with the help of this. Now that is having the extrusion very common, because you know if you want to make the length increasing and diameter increasing of the particular bar, okay, particular road you have, so that thing how we can help. Okay, we can improve by the extrusion process. So you have to apply the certain equivalent output action pressure until the dimension will be not changed. So we have to maintain the load that is for the requirement of time and material condition, because if you want and apply the load in upward action, then it will be break. So that time the extrusion will not be used for that. So you have to understand that the powder may be a compacting of the extrusion to be used for that. So in the in the process, that is the powder is enhanced, powder is encased, and in the metal container used for that. So it has to be understand the super alloy powder and the hot extrusion in the mechanical properties having. That these are the some reasons. So that these are the some reasons to why we are selecting the rolling process, why selecting for the extrusion process instead of the we also use for the powder metrology for the to increasing the strength, mechanical strength, chemical strength, thermal strength of the particular material. Fifth one is the pressureless compacting. What is the pressureless compacting? Basically, pressure compacting is in this method the die is filled with metal powder. So dye is filled with the metal powder and by the gravity. Okay, and the power is stranded directly in the dye. So we can say this method because of the resulting low density. It usually principally for porous point such as the filter we have used for that. So the other pressureless compacting also maintained for having the metal powder by the use of gravity and the powder of the stranding directly to the die. These are the reasons that were used for the pressureless compacting for any machining and to obtain the good quality. Now, at the end of this lecture, I am going to recommend some and asking you some questions related to the powder metrology, which is very helpful for us to obtain the to understand the phenomena and what is the purpose of this machining and powder metrology. That is, first question is what is the dimensional accuracy in powder metrology? So options are A high, B medium, C low, and D something high or something low. So as you know that the dimension of the powder metrology is very high. That is why, because it's high, because it will make the powder, and powder you have to spread out and every very easy to make a complex shape, and we can say the normal shape or is any special desire or recommended to your design that is to be built by the powder metrology. So for that the powder is very important for use, and having the great dimensional accuracy will be final to perform. Because in every, we can say that every powder metrology techniques are adopted very high, but sometimes it will be checked that if your quality of the grain size of the powder is to be a very large, that means it will not be used for that. So we have to required to maintain the quality of the powder for the particular material which is used for making the product, that is to be my metrology product, powder metrology. And then it is we can say that the highest it is required for a high melting, high dimensional accuracy in the powder metal. That's why we can say very high accuracy in the powder metal. Second question, that is the wastage of material in powder metallurgy as scraps is, that is options are A larger, B smaller, C depends on other factor, and D is a medium. So the correct answer, that is B, is the smaller if required. So for the scrap, that is the wastage of the material is powder material. Obviously, that if you are doing any machining operation like turning, milling, and working on the conventional machine and non-conventional machines for reviewing or to finishing the material. So you not also have to idea that there's a lot of material to be wasted in the form of the cheaper. Okay, so this type of problem we are eliminated and have to be a more advantages as compared to the other type of conventional non-conventional type of machine, because in this type of technique the wastage of material of the powder metallurgy as scrap is very low or very small. That is not be having large quantity of chip will be produced and which is not recycled after the using. So these are also wastage of the money, wastage of time and wastage of material that is to be reduced by this type of product, reduced by in the powder metallurgy. So that time we have to prepare for any product making with the help of the powder metallurgy due to this reason. Third one is a complex shape can be formed effectively using options of powder metallurgy, turning, sand casting, and metal casting. So we know that the complex shape, any complex shape, any type of shape, you have to effectively formed by using only on the powder metallurgy technique, because powder metallurgy having the capacity to obtain this type of technique for that, and having idea to be calculate or to be measure the fine accuracy and good finishing only on by the powder metallurgy technique rather than to the other turning processing or sand casting or any metal casting, because all the starting we have to make the complex metal also for that. But after that we used for the machining purpose, and the machining cost will be very high, and product will be chances sometimes the machining if not done properly then will be not properly having the good accuracy or we can surface quality be obtained. For preventing all this type of or for removing all this type of problems, we use for the powder metallurgy, because it has to make the complex shape and there is no requirement of any machining after the manufacturing of any product. That is for we can select the powder metallurgy is the right answer for that. Fourth is that in powder metallurgy, range of particle size in microns is other options are A is 4 to 200, B 0.300 to 0.003, 300 to 200, 2000, and D is 5000 to 6000. So what is the range of the powder metallurgy and the range of the particles are in the microns? That is 4 to 200 approximation. We will require that is type of target from low to medium. Okay, and it's sufficient to make any material, because we know that a very large, very small type of planning we have to create a problem. So therefore that we have to understand that all the parameters we selected for this is very necessary for that. So that time we are using this type of technique. Okay. Fifth one, that is the pressure of forming metal powder by directing the molten metal through an orifice, which after it is break into the small particles using the high pressurized and filled, is known as options are A, atomization, B, reduction, C, crushing, and D is electrolysis. So the correct answer for that is A, that is we can say atomization is the correct answer for that. Sixth is for formation of a metal powder to use in the powder metallurgy by reducing the some compound with the CO or other molecules is known as options are atomization, reduction, crushing, and electrolysis. So the correct answer for this is reduction. Basically, we know that the definition we have to consider the reduction. Reduction is the we can say that reduction is the formation of metal powder to use in the powder metallurgy by reducing the some compound with the carbon oxide or any other molecules known as the reduction. Seventh is the production of a pure powder of iron and copper can be effectively done by using A is the atomization, B reduction, C crushing, and D is the electrolysis. So the we can say that electrolysis is the correct answer, because the production of powder in iron and copper is so large that effectively using we have used the iron and copper for making the pure powder for increasing the production of that. So we have to select for the electrolysis process for that. It's a powder of various and non-ferrous metal which becomes brittle on heating can be formed using options are atomization, reduction, crushing, and electrolysis. The options are is C. She selected for this. Ninth is training is done by two options are A, increasing final strength, B, decreasing final strength, initially increasing and then to decreasing the strength, and D, initially decreasing and then to increasing the strength. And the options are is A, that is increasing the strengthening is done to increasing the final strength for that. And the question that is to improve the strength of a powder metrology part, the following finishing operations is used for that. Options are a coining, B signing, C infiltration, and D is the implementation, and C is the answer for that is the correct for that. Now at the end of the lecture, I'm recommending for preparing the powder metrology technique, that is the principle of manufacturing metals and science by James L. Campbell, Tata McGill publisher. Second is manufacturing technology by foundry, forming and welding by M.J. Rao, Tata McGill publisher. Production engineering science, P.C. Pandey and C.K. Singh by Standard Publication Limited. Fourth is manufacturing technology by R.K. Rajput and Lakshmi Publications. And management technology by P.N. Rao by Tata McGill Publications. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have doubt any query, you will be asked to me drop with my email or email ID to me on amit.tiwari@mynet.com, and contact to me on my mobile number also, that is 8690319448. I hope you listen patiently. Thank you so much for understanding and listen patiently to me for this video. Thank you so much.